Welcome to episode 9 of Comics and Us. I'm TJ.
And I'm Chris.
And I'm Lumpy.
And this is the review show that reviews comics chronologically. Kind of. So, why do you guys... It always seems like you guys forget to come in here in the intro. It's like there's always a pause or a stutter.
I'm always waiting for Uncle Chris, and he doesn't.
I purposely jump in as fast as I can. Maybe we're a little off.
And you guys... Because it feels like I say, and I'm TJ, and you guys come in like 3 seconds late or something like that.
I don't. Maybe it's a little. Maybe we got a little delay somewhere or something.
I think you're just nitpicking.
I think
you're nitpicking too.
I might be nitpicking, but it feels like I'm waiting for you guys to come in. Like,
are you leaving all this in?
Yeah.
We stopped about 4 times the last time we recorded because he could hear an echo. He's a little picky, just so you know. Anybody listening right now?
Not a little. He's really picky.
Well, it's my podcast. I can do what I want.
No one cares about that.
And I do the editing.
That you do.
Anyway, we're going to Detective Comics number 34. This is December 1939, the last one in 1939. So,
yeah.
This one's only 10 pages, and it is called Peril in Paris. We go into looking at the cover here. We have the Crimson Avenger throwing some guy off a boat.
Is that who that is, the Crimson Avenger?
Yes.
He looks a little bit like the Riddler in this drawing.
He does, but I don't think the Riddler was created yet.
Yeah, I don't think so. Well, he wasn't, if he's a Batman villain. We didn't see it yet.
I think Riddler was introduced in a different set of comics.
Really?
Yeah. I think it was like a Batman Superman or World's Finest or something he was introduced.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
I didn't know that, but he does look like the Riddler.
But yeah, I don't think the Riddler shows up for another couple years yet. But I could be wrong. I'm sure Uncle Chris will look it up eventually.
Is that a hint?
No, I'm assuming that's what you're doing right now.
I wasn't. No, I wasn't actually. But
so there's no announcements on this cover, but it does have the Batman back.
I was about to say, yep. There's the Batman is not on the cover, but his little face is right at the top and front and center.
Actually, this says the first appearance of the Riddler, October 1948.
1948.
Yeah, we're going to get to him eventually because he appears in Detective Comics number 140.
Oh, wow. I thought it was in a different set of comics. There's one villain that shows up in a different set of comics. I don't know what it is.
Honestly, it doesn't say in Batman in Detective Comics, so he could have his own. It
could be a standalone.
No, the cover. I see the cover where he appears. It's got Batman and Robin. Spoiler alert in it.
Well, Robin should be coming up sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
I think he's in like the early 40s, not the year, but like number 40, 41 or something like that.
I can tell you right
so
now.
We're getting close.
No. Introducing the Boar Wonder, April 1940.
Yeah, so like I said.
Yeah, we're only 4 comics away.
I guess that is early April 1940s.
It sure is. Sure is.
I guess but I think it was Detective Comics number 40. That's what I was trying to say.
I think it is.
It's 38.
38.
Only because April's the 4th month, so we're only 4 comics away.
Oh, yeah.
January, February, March, April.
Yeah, no, you're right. You would know your birthday's in April.
Yes, that's my birthday. That's how I knew it was 4 away. So.
Uh-huh.
So, what do we got here? So the cover's it. It's just that. They don't have anything special. I don't know what the name of the boat is that they're on.
The something the end of second.
Yeah.
Corinthia something.
2 or something.
I'm sure we could go to the Crimson Avenger comic in here and find out.
I'm gonna pass.
Yeah, if we really want to. Yeah, we're good.
I didn't think so. Anyway, on the Batman, this is I want to read the opening text because this is ridiculous after the last issue. The Batman, having rescued his fiancée Julie from a sinister figure named the Monk, sees her safely on board a boat for America. He is to follow her later when he becomes involved in a mystery. So he's still in Hungary here.
Yes.
Where he was in New York in the last issue, which we mentioned in that one. And he sends his fiancée off alone back on this boat. After she was kidnapped by vampires.
And we're not even sure that she's not one. Her neck has just healed.
Yeah.
But the beginning of the last comic book, Batman wasn't in the plane. Maybe he just flies all over the place.
Maybe he flew all the way from Hungary to New York with unlimited fuel on his bat chopper.
Yeah.
Or maybe his plane is actually a bat now, because that's what it looked like in the other one.
It's got a head on it now, right? But I don't think a bat would be able to fly that far either, do you?
Well, no, but I'm sure it took a rest somewhere.
So
maybe one that size, right?
He's not in Hungary. They're in Paris now.
So they're not even where they're supposed to be.
Yeah, that's what I was confused about. He
What does
puts her
this
on a
say?
boat, but they're in Paris.
To be fair, Hungary is landlocked.
Right, so you got to get somewhere before you can get on a boat.
So they probably traveled to Paris to get her on a boat.
Okay.
Now TJ's back into geography again.
Yeah.
But
Some history lessons.
and
This
I
is
heard,
Geography and Us. That's another episode of Geography and Us.
Yeah.
yeah, whatever. I just heard myself echo too. I'm gonna complain about that as well.
Uh-oh. Shut it down. Shut it all down.
Anyway, Bruce Wayne is wandering the streets of Paris, and then he bumps into a guy with no face.
He bumps into his friend Jed.
Who?
He thinks it's a friend of his named Jed. He thinks he
Jed.
recognizes the guy, but then when he gets a closer look, the guy has no face.
So
Yeah, why did he think it looked like Jed?
That's what I'm confused about. He thinks it's old Jed Farnell, and then when he gets closer, the guy has no face. So I'm thinking,
Also, he
what made
knows
him
Jed
think
in
that?
Paris? He thought Jed was in Paris, too?
well, and that's why he was confused. He's like, that looks like old Jed Farnell. Why is he here? And
well, to
then
be fair, in the panel that he says that's Jed, he's looking at him from the back.
so why would he think it's Jed? Everybody has the same jacket and hat on.
Hey, that's Jed.
Hey, I don't know. Maybe he is Batman. Maybe he could tell from height and size and stuff.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Yeah. So,
He is the world's greatest detective, even though they haven't called him that yet.
do you guys know who the Question is?
Yes.
All right, so Lumpy probably doesn't know.
I do not.
The Question is a superhero kind of from, I think it's actually from Charleston Comics, but DC bought them. And so they initiate him as a superhero in DC Comics. But he's almost a vigilante, more harsh than Batman is, modern Batman. But he is exactly this character. Because he has like no face.
Right.
It's like, it's just skin covering his face. Like you can see the eyes behind like a skin flap and stuff. It's almost like a mask. But it looks exactly like the Question, this character.
Maybe it is.
This says the
No.
Question first appeared in the comics Blue Beetle #1, Charlton Comics Blue Beetle #1.
Yeah,
Then he was
okay.
acquired by DC. Yeah,
So yeah, hey, I knew my history.
yeah, but it wasn't acquired by DC until the early '80s.
Yeah, no, DC went on a buying streak and just bought everything that was going out of business, I think, at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Also, the question was in Scooby Doo and Batman: The Brave and the Bold. Just so you know.
I think he was in Justice League too, the animated series.
That's where I remember him from. I think it was Justice League. It could have been Batman the Animated Series. Had a ton of guest stars in it, so I'm wondering if it's from that.
But Batman the animated series and Superman the animated series were interconnected.
Yeah.
And so they both kind of combined in the Justice League the animated series.
True.
Which means they had a shitload of guest stars throughout everything.
Right. You don't have to tell me. I used to watch Batman Superman Hour on Saturday mornings.
Yeah, I know. I used to live with you. Yeah. So Batman finds this faceless man and lets him go. And then this woman gets a letter, runs out, jumps in the cab that happens to have Bruce Wayne in it.
Yeah.
And then somehow a dagger is thrown through into a taxi cab.
Maybe they throw it from the front seat.
No, it doesn't seem that way.
It really doesn't look that way. It just comes ching.
Yeah.
It enters the cab somehow.
Yeah, maybe the window was down, but then the angle doesn't look like it came from the side window.
No, it does look like it almost came from the front. It's really weird.
All I know is she finds a way to get her arms around Bruce Wayne there, doesn't she?
He doesn't look like he's pushing her away.
No, he's
Just
a
saying.
billionaire playboy.
Yes.
And then apparently he scares her into faint, and then Faceless guy shows up.
Yeah, Batman blames him. Oh, well, Bruce Wayne blames him. You did that.
Yeah, no. It's not what happened at all. Because that's her brother, we find out a little later.
Yeah.
So,
Also,
good.
What? How does a guy with no face eat and breathe?
Well, no, here's my question. That's fine and well. They say that this guy, Duke
Duterre.
Yeah, Duterre.
melted his face away. If you melted someone's face away, it wouldn't just be blank.
No.
There would be maybe holes. Would there still be sockets and holes and stuff?
His face is not made of plastic or wax.
No, and they legitimately said he melted his face.
Yeah, they got a little like laser light thing that they're melting his face with on it.
But
Well, they
it
say he
kinda
burned away his face and features with
Yeah.
a terrible ray.
But that doesn't
Okay.
mean the holes will disappear. But to be fair, it does come back later in the craziest way possible. We'll get to that. So they're telling Bruce Wayne this story about how Duke de Trey, or whatever his name is, burned off his face, and they're running from him. And that's who's trying to kidnap him. I don't know why he's trying to kidnap her.
I think he wants her.
Oh, okay.
He does. He's in love with her.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he kidnaps the brother and burns his face away and something.
Yeah. Well, if you really like a girl, you take her brother and you burn his face off and she'll fall in love with you. That's how that works. Yeah.
But Bruce Wayne says, well, that's a great story, but I can't help you, and excuses himself, and then Batman walks in right afterwards.
He honestly says, as myself, I cannot help you. But if you'll pardon me, he pretty much tells them that he is Batman right there.
He does. He does. As myself, I cannot help you.
But
Pardon me.
I'm skipping that to the end real quick. After everything's solved, she asks, "You've been wonderful to us. Mere words can't express how much anyone can appreciate it. But won't you tell us who you are?"
Yes, because my last notes for this episode is apparently they don't know who he is with an exclamation point.
Right, because that, my dear, must be kept a secret, and now
Right.
or evolves what he says. But that's the end. So they don't know. They're stupid, I guess.
Yeah, apparently they couldn't figure it out. Even he was like, as myself, I can't help you, but wait a minute, and I'm going to go get changed.
And he walks out for a half hour because that's how long it takes him to get changed.
Yeah, a half hour every time.
I like that's how they have to establish that. But
we already know it's a half hour, so don't tell me later that he slides down a pole and changes, because that's not true. It's a half hour, unless it's a half hour pole.
oh man,
It has been a half hour on 2 separate occasions. Noted.
Yeah.
In both comics.
all right. So that night, as Paris sleeps, he goes out and finds a sewer for some reason. I don't know why he drops down to a sewer.
Well, he actually finds the exact sewer where they took that other guy and burned his face off.
Well, no, they don't. Because the criminals find him, and then he gets hit in the back of the head, and they bring him to Bel Air.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see it.
Well, actually, I don't even think they hit him in the back of the head. So for some reason, he goes down to the sewer, which makes no sense. And then
because the no-face guy told him that they took him through the sewers to get him to the lair to burn his face off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right.
So
and then, good.
I'm trying to look at this one thing. Why are they called the Apaches?
I don't know.
Yeah, I can't figure that out either. So
I'm guessing that's a gang name or something, but I'm not sure because the characters kind of change as the story goes on.
right.
Batman goes in the sewer, runs into the Duke's henchman, and then he's questioning one. And then I said he gets hit in the back of the head, but I think he just uses a magic wand on him.
It's the great agility Batman throws terror into the Apaches. Where's your leader? Oh, no, yeah, he shines a light in his eyes and blinds him.
Okay.
From his cane. Yeah, blinding light which shoots forth from the end of the Duke's cane.
Yes.
Well, anyway, I guess that's enough to capture Batman.
Yeah, you just flash light in his eyes. That's all you do.
The Duke kind of looks like a vampire.
Yes. He looks, he's got a little Fu Manchu thing going on too, but he's got a weird hairline.
Yeah, he's got sharp features. If you look at the shadow on the back, it looks like a Nosferatu.
Yeah, it does. Or like Batman from like the first couple comics.
Yeah, with the shorter ears.
Yeah.
But anyway, the Duke brings Batman to this giant cheese wheel.
Yes, he does.
And then straps him to it, and apparently they spin this wheel. And what happens is either he gets flung off or he goes insane.
Yeah, that's the choices. You're gonna go insane or you're gonna get flung into the wall.
But Batman, this is where his muscles of steel comes in.
This is where you were talking about last time.
Yep, this is because he flexes his muscles of steel to break these metal bindings that come
leather
off.
thongs.
He breaks the leather. Yeah. Now, have you ever tried to rip a piece of leather? Leather doesn't rip.
That's because you don't have muscles of steel.
I guess so. I don't know. Yeah. My gut of steel never rips my belt.
I actually ripped my belt.
No, you did not.
Yes, I did. I had to replace my belt because my gut of steel did rip my belt.
Okay, I stand corrected then. I'm sorry.
That is not a joke.
Anyway, Batman breaks with muscles of steel and then tries to unstrap his feet while he's spinning really, really fast and gets flung off the wheel afterwards through a trapdoor into a garden of flowers with faces on them.
Yeah. For one, why is there a trapdoor above the wheel? For two, that was pretty good jump there to get shot through that trapdoor.
Uh-huh.
And
Three, why is there a garden with flower faces?
yeah, this does not fit into this comic book at all. All of a sudden he's in a garden and they got human faces.
Right. And so I'm assuming that Ray puts their faces onto flowers.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. The Ray sucks their faces off and puts them on. But so is his face on a flower then, you think?
That's what I'm assuming.
I mean, it
Weird.
looks like all women in the drawings, but it's very possible.
And I think that's what he's planning on doing to her because he's collecting women's faces of the flowers. But I think he did it to him to punish him.
Oh.
But here's the thing. After these two panels of these flowers, we never go back. Those flower faces stay there forever.
She actually talks to him again after like 6 more panels. There's a spot where there's one. Meanwhile, the Batman seems to hear the flowers murmur. She says, "I send you my thoughts, stranger. You must release us. Follow the hedge to a glass door which leads to the wheel room. The rest is up to you."
But he never does it.
He doesn't save them?
Not that I saw.
Not in this comic, you don't.
Not. I'm pretty sure he just left them there. He's like, "Oh, thanks for getting me to the wheel room," and left those poor people to just rot in flowers for all eternity.
Oh my god, he does. He does. There's no freeing of the flowers.
Yeah, I think that's worse than the death count.
That's pretty bad. Does he go visit them sometimes and like water them at least? Or?
If my impression is, because I read the next 2 comics and he doesn't mention them or anything, so I'm assuming as soon as he leaves, he forgets all about them.
He was like, "Screw them flowers. I'm not going nowhere. That was freaky crap. I'm not going back there at all."
He's like,
Unless he thinks he was hallucinating from the wheel.
No,
You
he doesn't
think?
mention that. I mean, he does say, "Am I going mad?" But
Yeah.
not after that psychic thing in a couple panels later that just proves that
Yeah.
they're real. No,
Yeah.
those are real. So yeah, I think Batman was like, "This is too crazy. I'm gonna put this in a box and forget it ever happened."
Yeah, he doesn't go back to that at all. Now I'm looking ahead and there's nothing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. This is
Forget those flowers, he said.
this is the strangest scene that we've seen, and we've had giant gorillas, vampires, and werewolves.
Yeah,
And a
yeah,
vampire
and
werewolf.
I don't know. Now you got me freaked out about the flowers. That's creepy now. Yeah, I don't like that he just left those poor flower ladies there.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Freaky.
That's not like Batman to leave them.
No.
I mean, this brutal, I don't care, Batman.
I guess at least he didn't like take a pair of like cutters and snip them all off.
It might have been better off that way because they're, at least then they'd probably be dead.
He left them in the garden.
Yeah, to live
He
for
definitely left them.
live for eternity as faces.
Yeah. Maybe one day we'll get back to them.
I highly doubt it.
Me too.
I'm assuming that the first appearance page doesn't have these flowers on here.
No, it does not.
I'm going through the whole synopsis that's written on this wiki page, and it doesn't mention the flowers at all.
Probably for a reason.
Yeah, they're like, we don't talk about the flowers. Never mention the flowers again.
Nobody mentioned the flowers ever again. We forgot to sum that up, so let's just
Yeah,
forget about the flowers.
that's some crazy crap, that is. How'd I miss that? That's really weird. I thought he saved the flowers.
No, he
No.
does not.
No, she asked him to.
I'm gonna name this episode "Don't Forget the Flowers."
I'm looking
Anyway.
to see. Yeah, there is nothing.
Mm-mm.
No, I went through this comic with a fine-tooth comb.
Yeah, there's no flowers mentioned again.
It was bothering me.
Well, she says the rest is up to you, and he's like, "Well, if you're leaving it up to me, then you're screwed. I'm not doing
And
it."
then see you later. Thanks for
You're
helping
on
me
your
get
own,
out of
flower.
Anyway, in the meantime, while Batman's dilly-dallying with the flowers, guards manage to capture the brother again,
Charles, his name is,
And-
by the way.
and the sister. What's the sister's name?
Carol.
There you go. He's got the list of names in front of him. That's why he knows. And the brother is strapped to the wheel. The Question's strapped to the wheel.
Yeah, we wish it was the Question.
But he doesn't have muscles of steel.
No, absolutely not.
So Batman pulls the wheel down? Is that right?
His rope catches on a bar on the steel hub, and the wheel comes to a sudden stop.
But it looks like it's on the ground in the next panel.
That's when it comes to a sudden stop. No, it's just a sideways panel, I think.
Oh,
he stopped
okay.
it. Yeah, and then I guess he climbed up and got the guy. I don't know.
Because I thought he pulled the wheel down. I was about to say he probably really crushed him.
It would have just rolled over him and squished him.
So he saves the brother. They get in the bat chopper.
They saves the brother, but the Duke runs off with Carol. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So
it's a
dead.
You must hurry. Get a taxi. Is what is what Charles tells Batman. We're lucky to escape the Apaches. We will take the highway. You must hurry. Get a taxi. But Batman has a better plan, and he gets the plane.
Well, I think that was more common back then because not everyone owned a car.
Right. Again, we said cars weren't really prevalent then.
Right. So maybe get a taxi was their way of saying, "Hey, this is how you get places."
Yeah.
But Batman has a copter, so
and we've gone full circle. Now you get an Uber to go places.
Yeah. Except nobody jumps on an Uber like Batman does.
Well, if they had a plane, they would.
I don't know if it's a plane. They are calling it a bat plane now.
Yeah, they do say a bat plane, but he stands on top of it at one point, and the propeller's right over his head.
I refuse to call it a bat plane. It's a Batcopter. Anyway, so here's my question. It shows Batman in the copter above, but then we get a shot of the car, but it looks like Batman's cape is coming out of the window.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I think that's the Duke guy's cape. Did he have a cape on? I'm going back. Yeah, that guy's got a cape on, too. Duke,
he does. When he flips the switch, he does have a cape on.
Oh, is that his head coming out?
Yeah, it looks like he's laying on his back looking up at the sky.
It is Paris. So I was like, isn't he on the wrong side of the road? But I guess not.
Yeah, I guess not.
I know, but I thought it was just England that had the steering wheel on the other side.
Well, unless somebody's driving him.
They're in the taxi.
Yeah, but my point is, if they were in America, the steering wheel would be on the opposite side of where he's sticking his head out.
Yeah, but he's not driving. He's in the back seat with the girl.
The girl's driving?
No, he's in the back
him and
seat.
her in the back seat, it looks like.
Oh, they got a taxi.
Yeah, there's a driver.
Yeah, they're sitting on a long seat.
Oh.
Which, they never mention the driver of this car. And that's not good if we find out later.
Because I was pretty sure it's only England that has steering wheels on the other side.
Right.
But do you know why?
I'm not sure.
I know. It's because they, of jousting. That's how they joust. They,
from that side of the horse?
They held the lance on that side of the horse.
So they made them so they could joust with them if they wanted to?
No, I just think that's how they built the roads and stuff because of it.
Mm.
Anyway, so Batman lands on the taxi.
Yeah, again. He's good at landing on moving vehicles, too.
Yes, he is. And then they get in the fight, and
he tries to get Batman with that blinding cane, and Batman takes it off him. And he's like, not today, sir.
And then the sister kicks him, and somehow that kick allows Batman to get into the taxi. And then in the next panel, Batman's strangling the Duke.
Yeah, and I don't know where the girl went at that point.
Yeah, I don't know.
She's in there still.
Somewhere, right.
Then I'm assuming Batman jumps into the Batcopter with the sister.
Yeah, he's got her in his hand.
Hanging on the ladder with her in his hand.
So the Duke dies because the car goes into the water, correct?
I believe so. But now, do we count the taxi driver?
That's what I was about to say. I didn't realize there was a taxi driver involved, too. So I'm assuming the poor taxi driver went with them.
Innocent bystander. Collateral damage, that's what we call him.
So am I making this death count number 13 or 14?
We never see him, so I say we just go with 1. We never see the taxi driver. Maybe he jumped out a while ago and it's just been cruising down the road.
Okay, so we're just going to count the Duke?
I say we count the Duke and that's it.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's 12 at this point. Yeah, it's 12 at this point. Alright, so death counts up to 12, and then it's the last scene where I read earlier.
Right.
And then a smashing new action-filled Batman thriller appears in next month's Detective Comic.
Yeah, but you didn't mention that Batman speaks French. Au revoir, he says.
He's Batman. He speaks like every language.
Yeah, it's true.
I thought that was just implied.
So the appearances are, we have Batman. We have Charles Mayer, which says first appearance. We have Carol Mayer, which says first appearance.
So I guess they return.
Yeah, I guess they return. Now, Duke de Auterre says first and only appearance to date. What does that mean?
Maybe there's going to be a comic coming up with him in it.
Do we say he's dead then?
And well, if he's in a comic nowadays, he's dead in this version because Batman evolves. And new series get written and stuff like that. So
it says first and only appearance to date is what it says. So
right.
Yeah, I would assume the way that it goes off of the road, he's dead and so is the driver. That's the way I would assume.
I don't know. The next comic, that guy looks like him on the cover. So
I was going to say that, but I'm like, do we talk about the next one? Or do we
I just wanted to mention it because it's sitting right here in my face.
The problem is, in the next one, I don't even know if that guy that's on the front of the comic is even in it.
He's not.
Yeah, he's not.
That's why it's so confusing. So
I guess
not at all.
That's right, he isn't. He isn't.
All right, well, I guess that's it for this one.
Yeah, I don't see anything else I want to...
All right.
2 more dead.
Is it 2 or 1? Because Uncle Chris said 1.
Yeah, what do we go with? I thought 1 because they never showed the actual driver. You want to count him?
But then you may not count him either because he might not be dead.
But
right, they never say he's dead.
But he was in the car. We know that for a fact.
We saw him in the car go off the side.
We didn't see the taxi driver.
I don't know how. I'm confused because you're right. If they had a driver, why would they go off the road if Batman only beat up the Duke?
Right.
So, yeah, I think it's only 12.
We're going with 12.
We're going with 12.
11.
Yeah.
No, it's 12.
It's 12.
It's 12. So Batman has now outpaced the issues he's appeared in with deaths.
Oh, yeah.
He's got 12 kills, and he's only been in 7 comics.
Right. He's almost doubled it. He's got to get 2 or 3 more to double it on the next one.
Yeah, exactly.
And he might.
Anyway, take it away, Uncle Chris.
If Batman and Superman had a baby, what would it be?
What?
Adopt it. You don't know how this works? You guys don't know how this stuff works?
Boo.
Bye.
Bye.